What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Here we are at about $83,000 with a low yesterday of $81,700. It is the 30th of March, the second to last day of the month. Here we are on Sunday, the last day of this week. Firmly entrenched in this downward sloping move. We have not had any pullbacks yet, or at least nothing that's been too substantial. Earlier today, we were talking about the concept of moving back up to about 83.5 to 84K. You could move all the way back up to 86K even, and it's nothing to get excited about if that happens. This would just be standard volatility along the way down. However, if we do move up, what I would expect to happen is that it would be very short-lived, and that we eventually would, not eventually, in a very short amount of time, would pick up back to the downside. We're not out of the woods yet, you guys. We've got more downside to go. Any cryptos, any altcoins, any whatevers that pumped today or dumped today and recovered, they probably have lower to go as well, right? This is not over. It's not over. So volatility is fun. It can be fun, especially if you're trading or if you're holding on for dear life and you get a little breath of fresh air. But it's nothing to get too excited over, because likely again, it's just not over yet, guys. I don't think it's over yet. We'll see. From a low to a high here, we have gone below our 382 area. It's very common with the 382 when you go below it to come back up and find resistance at it. So we probably do find resistance, maybe not as high as 86K, although that might be, the highest that we could, 85 and a half, 86, just below there, something like that. But likely we do find some resistance right around 84K is what my thoughts are. So a little bit higher, 84K. We might not even see that. That's not even promised, right? Nothing's promised, but what I do assume to believe is going to happen is that we're working our way down to about 73.7 to $70,000 itself, probably right in the middle there at 72 to 71K, somewhere in that zone. It's completely possible we could go lower. We really could see a 67, 66K price, but I don't know if that's what we have in store, right? I personally do expect 71 to 72K, and that in my opinion, it just makes a lot of sense from an overall percentage drop. It's something that I've had ingrained in me for a little while now, and also shout out to Go Anders for pointing this one out. Low to high here, I think you have to take it out of log, but if you take this out of log, if you're looking at it in a linear scale, your golden ratio is right there, just below 72K. And there are a lot of like traditional finance people in crypto who just use linear charts, whatever. That golden ratio there, if you use a log chart like me, you would have missed it, right? But still, even on a log chart, that's right around the 0.5, and Bitcoin has been finding support on its 0.5 really throughout this whole cycle. Let's actually go through that. Let's talk about why I think we really will go below 73K. Sorry. And probably find support around that area. 72, 71K. That's still right there around that area. Okay, so if we're looking at this here from a little low to a little high, you can see that, boom, we tipped the 0.5. We went a little bit below it, but we tipped it, right? That was a little tipperoo on the 0.5. We take a low to a high here, and we go here, boom, you tipped it again, 0.5 to a T, actually, right? That time a little bit above it. I don't really know what about this real quick. I don't know if this is going to hold up anything, but look at, nope, that's the 382, so that doesn't really count. Here, we're definitely not going to find resistance on the 0.5 from this low to high. No. But maybe from this low to high, let's just see, low to high here. No, that was at the golden ratio, but you did tip the 0.5 twice, 2 times, finding significance there. And if we went through and we wanted to find resistance too, there's points where we found resistance at the 0.5, like if we took a high to low here, you literally tipped your 0.5 here, tipped it, found resistance there, then once you broke above it, you went above. For whatever reason, Bitcoin and a lot of cryptos, and this is something that we noticed all the way back in 2023, right? You can go back and watch my videos from 2023. We talked about it. We even talked about it in the Discord back then too. Smooth Operators knows what I'm talking about. Shout out to Smooth. It's been a while, man. But the 0.5, for whatever reason, has been an area that we've been finding significance on throughout this whole cycle. Not at every single turn. It doesn't mean we have to now, but I'm just saying 73K, it's a strong possibility. It really is a strong possibility. And could we go a little bit lower? Sure. It's not really like it has to be respected to a T, but a little bit lower, 71, 72K, that would be like right there, right? If we would go to 71.7, that's basically right there. So we could really see something like that. Again, on the notion of the golden ratio being down here, if we take it out of log, we put it into linear scale, that golden ratio right there, it's something a lot of people are aware of. If you're using linear scale, a lot of traditional finance people might be aware of as well. If that's the case, you might see some front running going on with that, where you bottom out just above it. And a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but I would assume, because this is how it was whenever I was learning, a lot of people, or maybe a lot of people who are new, might assume that if you find support just above the golden ratio that you have a date with destiny. It's inevitably going to go down there. You didn't touch it. But the reality is the most bullish thing you could do is not bounce right off the golden ratio. It's actually to bounce just above it. If you bounce just above it, you reach for it, but you can't get there. That's what you call front running. Front running essentially means that there's not enough selling pressure to push you down here, or there's so much buying pressure at this area that it won't reach there, right? Either way, it's the same thing. Not enough selling pressure, too much buying pressure. It's the same thing, right? However you want to look at it. It's literally the same thing. The glass is half full, half empty, whatever you want to say, but it's very bullish. It's the most bullish when you find support just above the golden ratio, because what that means, and the reason why it is so bullish, is that you have a bunch of people. I feel like I look like Lord Farquaad right now. That I look like Snow White with my hair. I keep like trying to fix it, but whatever, guys, whatever. Leave in the comments yes or yes, you look like Lord Farquaad if you think I look like Lord Farquaad, because I swear somebody pointed that out and I can't unsee it now. I've got like the perfect length hair for it right now, or maybe not perfect length hair, but why am I talking about this? I don't even know. The reason why it's so bullish, is because what this means is that you have a lot of attention at this area. It's not just trading bots, it's not just retail, but it's institutional players too. People of all walks of life are focused on this area, anticipating this prior area of resistance, this golden ratio here, to provide immaculate support. And if you front run it, that validates it. That validates it very heavily and strongly, actually. So I think 73K, 72K, 71K, those areas, that's where we're going to go ultimately. Bitcoin from here to go down to 72 to 71K, somewhere in that area, because that's where I ultimately think we're going to go. That's the call. It's about a 13% drop from here. So whatever altcoin you might be looking at, just assume that you get like about a 13% drop from here. Actually, probably, sorry, more than a 13% drop. It could be a 2-to-1 ratio. Maybe it's just a little bit more, but something on the lines of a 20% drop could be expected, perhaps across the board for the average altcoin. I'm actually curious, what does the others chart look like here on that note? Because I know we talk about Bitcoin a lot to kind of gauge the crypto markets, but let's look at the others chart real quick. If we look at a low to high here, I mean, I would think this goes to the 786. How much would that be? Others down here, that would be about a 14% drop. Interesting ideas here, man. 14%. It could go a little bit lower than the 786. It wouldn't be crazy. Maybe the lowest you see is a 23% drop. Okay, so 23 to 14%. And I mean, if Bitcoin drops 13%, that makes sense to me. So anyways, a little bit lower. If we move up to 86K, don't get too excited. If we move up to 84K, don't get too excited. We probably will. We probably will move up a little bit. I think that we'll probably stop in our tracks at 84K, just $1,000 higher, and then begin to move down. I don't think today's going to be a green day. I don't think today's going to be a pause day. If it is, the very end of the day is going to come down and crash red. I very much believe that since Friday until the end of this move, we're just going to be moving down, marching down as we did here, marching down as we did here, marching down as we did here, right? And we've done this before. I'm not going to do it again, but essentially we've had time frames of like 4 days to 7 days, 4 days to 8 days, something like that, since the all-time high of how long these drops have taken to fully form before we find a relative low and then start to consolidate again. We're on day 3 right now, okay? 4 days to 8 days. We're on day 3 right now. So likely before the 2nd of April is what I'm thinking. But even if we keep moving down past the 2nd of April, Bitcoin's not broken. The bull market's not over. The bear market has not begun. Anybody who thinks that the bear market's on, you are delusional. You're probably new. It's probably your first cycle. Tell me it's your first cycle without telling me that's how you think it's the bear market, right? It's not the bear market. We've got plenty of cycle left to go. And I very much do believe that whenever everything's all said and done, by the end of May, by the end of June, we'll be looking at a Bitcoin that's reaching for 200K, probably not at 200K. I think we'll be at 170, 175, maybe even a little bit above there. But that's what I'm expecting overall. Right now, this is the little move. A lot of people are going to worry about this. This is the move you should worry about missing out on. If you're thinking it's a bear market, you're really setting yourself up for failure with this opportunity cost. On the bright side, though, at least you can't lose money if you're sitting out, right? If you're in it, you're going to be losing some money momentarily. But this little loss is worth this. It really is worth this. So I'm going to stop talking. I think I've said enough. Hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves and persevere, man. Buy the dip. Everything's on sale. Things will continue to be on sale, and I don't think that we're out of the woods yet. Don't get too excited, right? I'll let you know whenever I think it's time to get excited. Probably if we close above 91K, then it's time to get excited. Okay, bye-bye.